Hi, this is Hans, and the purpose of me recording this video is to go through my past experiences covering Python, covering AWS, covering SQL, covering Git, and I shall start now. So back then when I started with Python, I mainly developed algorithms back in college, and it would be optimizations algorithm. So like for this one would be a dynamic programming um, program. So that's to optimize for a certain desired situation with a certain constraint. So an example would be like, oh, how here, so four items, right? So each has their own values. So pick a combination that gives us the most possible the maximum possible value, the profit, and given the certain capacity. So it would be, yeah, dynamic programming solutions like this, and it goes into like providing solving problems and putting the data into data structures like heap, AVL trees, as shown here, as you can see here, and just um, doing some performing some operations to it. So an example here is for AVL tree, and this would be for databases. So when a new data comes in and it's corrupted, you need to remove, pop, and find like the biggest value known in left child, because AVL trees are self-balancing. So these are pretty much the things that I did back in college. So it would be mainly to represent data in a certain data structure. Could be a string, could be a suffix tree, it could be a trie, it could be an AVL tree, B tree, and just solving different problems with it. So it could be like shortest path finding algorithm, extra lemon forward, finding suffixes within a string, finding substring within a string. That could be Buchanan. It could be Z algorithm, um, and more like for focusing. So these are the particular algorithms that I did back then. So that's how I started with Python development, and gradually after that, I moved out into getting clients for myself. So I started doing Selenium work, so mainly web browser testing, uh, and which is relevant to here, automated software tests. So Selenium browser, automated browser web testing, and automation using Selenium. So you can see here, this is a project that I developed for Telecom Malaysia, a telecommunications company. So what it does is essentially reads in addresses from a certain database. You can see that each row is a database. Each row is an address. So if they find that this is within the internet coverage um, that they have, like I mean, their telecommunications and they provide internet service. If this is within coverage, then they would send a, yeah, for example, this is within serviceable area. So I would send a notification to mobile by Telegram and email using like SMTP servers. So Telegram API, SMTP servers. Yeah, so it just reads in the addresses and shows pretty much if coverage is available. So this is like notification text for email, notification. Yeah, I keep screwing that word up. But anyways, this would be a notification for email and DB, so to read, to write, and I implemented some design paradigms using like singleton principle, because I like for every instance there will only be one database, there will only be one current input row, right? So one instance of each the input data to test, and to see if there's coverage for that particular address, right? So I thought a singleton would be very suitable here. The implementation is here, and you can see that, yeah, it just goes through the addresses and updates. Yeah, so this would be like some output that I print out for me to debug. And yeah, this is pretty much it for this particular project. Oh, also it solves CAPTCHA. as you can see here. Yeah. So this is it for this particular project. Another thing to note is that this particular project is hosted on AWS, similar to this. Actually, let me close it, this unified portal. Yeah, so you can see that this is, if I zoom in, scheduled by a rate of 1 hour, 1 hour, 1 day. So it uses ECS as well as different ECS, Fargate, ECR to schedule these scrapers. So this would be a nice segue to move on to the second app that not the second, but the second phase that I moved into, which is to help with the backend stuff. So you can see here that there is a data for all of the apps for this particular App Store optimization app. So this would be the designs. You can see that the app is to give Shopify app developers some intelligence, some data to help them place their apps higher in the rankings. So the whole idea behind this app is that a lot of people in Shopify developing apps, actually a lot of people that are developing apps in general, they monetize their apps using some certain payment plans, right? And with that, you need users. So the idea is that the higher ranking your app is, the more traffic you get, and the more traffic you get, the higher probability there is for a customer to convert. Yeah, so that's the whole idea behind why this app is needed for app developers, and we just decided to start within the Shopify niche because that's a good initial condition for us to test out the app. Yeah, and after that we're gonna scale it up. So you can see that a lot of data is here, the rankings for this particular app, what's the business API, and then the logos, the ratings, and the change in rankings. So these would be like, yeah, a lot of like data you can see here. So this is the front end work. What I do for the back end is essentially to scrape all of the data and to tie that data together so that the front end guys could have what they want, right? So you can see that different review IDs, app IDs can go into this ranking table. Give it a second to load. Yeah. So this is category rankings sorted by most installs, and it is empty. Yeah, so I need to fix that. But essentially what I did is to scrape all the apps of the data, and yeah, I can see that this is the daytime scrape, so you can get the rankings here in the collection ID as well as the app ID here, so you can place it in relation to collections. Yeah, I can see that either per category, so this is for collections, the same idea. Yeah, so what I do is essentially to scrape the data and put them in tables in a way that benefits the whole app. Yeah, so this is pretty much what I did for this particular app, and it's all hosted on Amazon. All the tasks have certain schedules automated by Fargate, and yeah, these are the tasks that are running as of now. Yep. So I'm just looking at my notes here to make sure I didn't leave out anything. Another thing to talk about right now would be the automated software tests. So you put a particular emphasis on these. So this would be in parallel to my Selenium work experience, since it's all about web browser automation, and by testing by mimicking user behavior on the website, on our app, that would be essentially automated tests on our browser. So that you can see how that's relevant to my past work experience. And to deploy it automatically on AWS, you can see here. Yeah, so these are like scheduled by time, but I could schedule it by event as well. So maybe one thing happens, maybe a person clicks on this, so you need to change something in the backend. So this is what I am able to do and have done in the past. So with GitLab, Git, this would be, yeah, I actually use it all the time to just push stuff. Um, so let's put git config, actually git push, just git push whatever commands. Yeah, everything up to date. Git, yeah, just do, I am comfortable with the CLI and I do work with it. Although I sometimes do cheat a little and I just commit here. Yeah, git log, git ignore file. So yeah, you can see that this would be particular and practical workflow for Git. So I think this would pretty much be it for the must-haves. For nice-to-haves, I can see that this I particularly worked with storing data into different types since college, putting it into heaps, um, trees, ABL trees, binary search trees, so that it is easier to change and it's easier for us to do certain processes with it. So this is, I think, I believe that I have met this requirement, as well as, oh yeah, the app, the modeling app in modeling databases map. So the schemas, what to add, what not to add to save cost, essentially, right? So this is pretty much what I did. And React. So front-end skills in React. So this is an app that I helped build. It's a neobank app, and the source code is here. Yeah. What I mainly did was to help fix bugs because I was, yeah, these are the certain functionalities, favorites. You can see that this would be, yeah, I can scroll. I can see the statuses of your payment history, profile, and everything works as it should. Your earnings, etc., etc., etc. Yeah. So what I helped with this React app was I helped solve bugs actually. So what happened for this particular client was that I helped them with their data, but I've always been a Flutter developer. So I, yeah, worked with Flutter, and they needed something urgently. And they asked me if I could help. I took a look at the code and decided that I would be able to, since Flutter and React Native, they are similar in concept. That's similar in concept. So I helped and it worked. So this was pretty much it. But I would like to note that I'm nowhere as proficient with React Native as I am with Flutter and Python. But I did have some brief experience with React Native building apps like these. Um, so this is pretty much it. It works on both Android and iPhone. Yeah, no bank here. So that's pretty much it for all of the for the requirements that I have mentioned about. For this and these, I would I would like to mention that I'm from Malaysia. I'm not Europe, and based in Europe. Malaysia is in Asia, besides Singapore. But the work times would be it would work for me. So it would be an 8 hour per day position, right? Full time. So from 9 to 5, that would be from 3 p.m. to 11 p.m., which is actually good for me. I don't really sleep early, so this would be a good fit for me as well. I am very comfortable working from 3 p.m. to 11 p.m., especially since it's remote. So yeah, I think it will work for me. I'll take like a dinner break, 1 hour dinner break from 7 to 8, and then after that I can work from 3 to 11. That's fine with me. As well, about the start date, right? I'm able to start in 3 days, which is Thursday, the July 7th of July. Yeah. So yeah, this is actually just a notes. I'm just making sure I don't miss anything. Yeah, that will pretty much be it. So I shall end this video by going through my profile. You can see that the past projects here are my past projects, my portfolio. This would be another automation project for another company called Placerus actually. This is the particular um, this is the work I did for Placerus. I scraped reviews and I helped map relationships between those reviews, like using suffix trees and whatnot. So that's why it was expensive. Yeah, essentially to map out a user persona for the audience to target. It would be a kind of a cross between data science and marketing. Yep. So you can see a particular pattern that I really notice, I really take into account because we're doing remote work, right? Would be the weekly video reports. So I do send weekly reports and see here in different reviews, because yeah, it's remote, so it's important to keep in touch with the clients and to let them know what you did for the past week, right? Yeah, so that's what I always did for my clients. Yep. So yeah, pretty much that's it for this particular video. If you find that this is this is what you're looking for, please do reach out, and we can schedule a call to discuss all that is needed to move forward. Yeah. So I shall end the video here, and thanks for your time. Yeah, I'll end the video here now.